anything like he was last year, he is a steal at $10 million.
I'm a Cub fan. I think it's a great signing. And don't get me wrong. I mean, you're nervous with any relief pitcher. Things could go the wrong way, but this guy is literally one of the 4 or 5 best relief pitchers in baseball history. You know? And he's going to the Cubs, where we have a legacy of great closers and great relievers, you know?
One of the things which may be, and it may just be, it's a part of every deal, but it's pending a physical. Do you think there's a chance the Red Sox knew something about his arm that kept them from saying, yeah, I'm going to commit to this much money?
No, I think that his original, the length of time that he was asking...
Right, he was asking for too much time. But do you think they knew something too?
I don't think that they thought he was hurt. I really think that your opinion on Kimbrel, where you were very upset about having him there, it's like re-signing Kimbrel was a no-win situation for them. It's like you could have a very good closer, but the fans won't be happy about it, or you can save the money and the fans won't be happy about it, and they went with save the money. That's really what went through their heads in my mind. It's like, why should we spend for a guy that everyone's going to boo anyway? Let's throw up Brazier and Barnes and pay $800,000 total, and we get the same net result, maybe better.
I can't imagine that there's a front office in baseball which takes the fans' consideration for a player,
but that wasn't
performance on the field. I can understand if it was something different, but I mean,
I wasn't exactly saying it's the fans' opinion that swayed it. It's the fans' opinion versus the huge difference in money. That was
I think the money is the biggest issue.
They basically
we don't need a closer because we can't keep a game ready for a closer. So the closer's kind of immaterial. The fact that we don't have one hasn't hurt us that much this year because we've been losing the game way before the 9th inning.
It's like the thought was we got Brazier and Barnes and they're decent. Brandon Workman's pretty decent. It's like, and they're $20 million a year cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So we go that way. It's not necessarily, and the fans won't say boo about it because they would, there's no net change.
Why would you change? Why would you use that word? Boo? The one thing you already said we would do about Craig Kimbrel.
You boo him. Yes, you're right. Yes, the fans would say boo. Why do people say that? That's an idiom. That's a stupid idiom.
Yes,
I'm sorry I've used it. Yes, they will say boo. Wow. It's like a little brain damage goes a long way.
This is what happens when you're dealing with somebody who spent 20 years in radio, whose only job is to listen to what other people say and then make fun of it. That really was my only job in radio. So.
That's why I brought you here. Is that in your rugged good looks?
Works great in radio. I have the face built for radio.
No one cares about Dallas Keuchel?
Doug, I got a question regarding these guys here. How much do you think that the draft pick compensation being tied to them signing played in it? I mean, obviously they both signed hours after within a day or two after the draft ended.
The new rules, you don't lose your first round pick unless it's a really high one. So the Cubs would have lost their pick if they had signed him. But I really don't think it made that much difference. It was just basically a smokescreen to save a little bit of money. I mean, I think that a lot of teams think they're going to make the playoffs. They just think it. The Cubs think they're going to make the playoffs. The Red Sox think they're going to make the playoffs. The Yankees think they're going to make the playoffs. And so you start going, why do I need to do something crazy early? Let me get him. Let me get him in 2 months. I'll save $3.5 million. His arm will be fresher. The real nutty thing is that the deal wasn't really that expensive, and I'm surprised that nobody else was that close. They said that I forget who they said was the next best deal, but it wasn't anybody that you would expect. It's like the Cubs.
I heard Carnival Cruise Line offered him a deal where he could be on 3 cruises a year, and he could get free drinks.
Yeah, but he didn't want to give his credit card over the phone.
That's true.
That's true.
He was afraid he was going to have to sit through that whole timeshare conversation first, and who wants that?
Exactly. Hey, in Florida, we love timeshares, sort of. And next, Well, I guess we can move on. Kimbrel and Keuchel are now part of the things. Fancy wise, smoke them if you got them.
All right, we have some minor league deals also that were signed this week. Mac Williamson signed with the Mariners. Carlos Gonzalez is still alive. He's a minor league deal with the Cubs. And an interesting one here, Dante Bichette Jr. signed with the Nationals on a minor league deal.
Dante Bichette Jr. is on there because I used to coach at Maitland Little League, and the last time Maitland Little League went to the Little League World Series, Dante Bichette was their best player. So he's a local kid. But he's only 26. He's not overdone. And everybody said about Bo Bichette. Both Mac Williamson and Carlos Gonzalez not only were signed to a minor league deal, but they were both called up, and they're playing. It's kind of crazy. So Seattle's got Mac Williamson. Carlos Gonzalez was actually batting fourth for the Cubs on Friday night and playing right field.
All right.
I don't know what to make either of those guys. I would love Carlos Gonzalez just to go nuts and be great.
That would be fun. Well, yeah, you being the Cubs homer over there.
But other than that, I can't explain it. Mac Williamson was a guy that I've always had high hopes for, but it never really panned out.
Okay, well, we mentioned it briefly earlier when I was praising Jay Bruce for carrying me in my matchup with the professor here. But there was one big trade this week. Jay Bruce was traded from the Mariners to the Phillies for a minor league player and some money, it looks like.
Jake Shiner? Oh, I spelled that wrong. Shiner is his name. He's a prospect that we haven't seen much come from him as. I think he was a 4th-round pick. It was really about the money. Seattle just ditched Bruce for the money. It's like Seattle was on the hook for $21 million or so, and now they're on the hook for a little less than $3 million. That's a pretty big savings, But when you're just trading away for money, you don't get the best prospect in the world. Bruce has been tearing it up for the Nationals. Just tearing it up, and that made
homered in his first 4 games, right? Is that what he?
Yeah.
So hopefully keeps that streak going.
I don't really play DFS, but I'm a Yahoo fantasy player, and they have this thing called the Yahoo Cup, and I've been playing that just because it's free. And the funny thing is, even though I've won money, I can't play the money because it's illegal in the state of Florida. But I won $4, and I played Jay Bruce last night because hey, that's the right thing to do. $4 coming from nothing. I put no money in because it's illegal to play that game in the state of Florida. But you could play a free version of it, Anyway, Jay Bruce is ride him while he's hot, and
that 200 average isn't going up. Isn't likely going up anytime soon. But those homers are nice. Okay, we have a bunch of people hit the IL this week. We start with some pitchers here. Carlos Carrasco with a blood condition. That one's concerning. Matt Strand with a strained rib. Caleb Smith for the left hip inflammation. And Julius Chassin with a lower back strain.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't expect Carlos Carrasco back this year because from what I heard, the first 2 or 3 weeks is going to be him consulting with different doctors as to what might be the best treatment for this. And they didn't name what the blood condition was. I'm assuming it's vampirism.
Obviously.
Yeah, but they'll figure it out. He can play night games next year.
There we go. Andrew McCutchen tore his ACL. That was a bummer. I mean, he was having a great year in Philadelphia, which probably that led to making that Jay Bruce trade happen, and once they lost McCutchen.
The Jay Bruce deal was actually to cover Odubel Herrera for beating his girlfriend. They're in the same spot. They still need a player.
Okay. Then we also had Mitch Haniger ruptured a testicle.
Do not say it.
You did it.
Ruptured testicle.
This was the first thing that really just made me shake my head in disbelief. Was not the actual injury, but when I read the Seattle Times article that said that it was a 10-day DL. 10 days.
No,
that's all you need after that. 10 days? No.
He's going to be out a little longer than that.
Well, how about this? He stayed in the game when it happened.
And he did it to himself.
Yes.
He fouled the ball off the ground right into his special parts. And he got that thing. I always think of this because, I've actually, I was a catcher and I didn't like to wear a cup. So I've had similar things happen, which were not very nice. And the thing I always think of is that the actual existence of testicles is proof that there is absolutely no intelligent design to the universe. It's literally like putting the little exhaust shaft on the Death Star. It's like why would you do that? It's like God sitting there going, well, we're going to have people reproduce by meat and sperm and egg, and we're going to build these bodies at 98 degrees, and we're going to make the sperm not survive at 98 degrees. It's got to be like 2 degrees cooler. So we'll put this outside and create this. It's like shooting swamp rats, right? It's going to happen. They're going to get hit people are going to get hit in the nuts. And most of the time it's funny. This is really kind of scary. But if there was intelligent design, we would not have balls.
You know what? This is one of the things which I think you, and I'm going to call you an atheist now, for lack of a better term. You atheists don't get. This is an omnipotent God who foresaw a future with YouTube videos and America's Funniest Home Videos. He saw that future millions of years ago and said, this won't be funny if it doesn't really hurt.
That's true. You throw
Take back everything you said.
You throw a football into like a girl's groin, you're like, feel bad for her, but not funny. You might be right there. All right, the jury is still out on the existence of God, but we'll move on to more injuries. Those less blessed by the Almighty.
Joey Gallo is hit the IL with a left oblique. Buster Posey with a mild hamstring strain, and Hunter Dozier with thorax tightness on his right side.
The Hunter Dozier injury is fairly minor. He could return as early as next Monday.
Okay, until then, who's speaking for the trees? This is the question I have.
Who's speaking for the trees?
This is a good joke. This is a solid joke. I am the thorax, and I speak for the trees.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing a callback to our cool and hip marijuana lingo, but no.
I am the thorax. I speak for the. It was a good joke. Better once I explained it.
Yeah, as most jokes are. Joey Gallo's having a breakout year. I mean, we always said that this guy hits a lot of home runs if he can just bat 250, and he's hitting 270, and it looks legit. Sorry for him going. And Buster Posey's second time on the DL this year. Maybe it's the beginning of the catcher body wearing down.
We also have a few smaller guys here. Dwight Smith Jr.'s on the 7-day concussion IL. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa sprained his right middle finger. Jameer Candelario, left shoulder inflammation, and DJ Stewart with a sprained right ankle.
Yeah, they're all out for some time. Lesser players.
You think with Kiner-Falefa that he was like celebrating a home run Ian Kinsler style and just injured himself that way?
I don't remember what happened to him. I think he got hit on a. Oh, you know what? He's got the sprayed right middle finger limit. Yeah, that is the thing. I think that we should all raise our right middle fingers in solidarity with Kiner-Falefa until he's better. Don't you think? That's a good joke. Well done, Brendan.
I'm going to say this: he was on my team. I'm dropping him. He hasn't done anything super fantastic, and I'm making some room. I'm out of room in the DL or the IL.
I have lots of room. I have 6 open spots.
I have none. So I ended up dropping him. He's available in our league if you need him.
Let's go on to the recent injuries. Let's go.
Okay, Miles Mikolas left in the 4th inning last night with an arm contusion.
It was in the Cubs game, but don't know the details.
Mitch Moreland left with quad tightness.
After just returning from the injured reserve. These are just things you need to know.